Hello.
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 So I'm a little bit dark. The lighting's not very good in my hotel room.
That's all right. This is
Hi.
genuinely a kind of a traveling show because we're kind of going to people in all kinds of different places. And if anyone's able to recognise bedding, Phil is in a travel lodge. But we'll forgive you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us, even though you're not even at home. This is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, you're a science communicator.
Yeah. So I mainly work in Hull and East Riding in Yorkshire, but I have been known to travel the country too. I do everything from science shows to street busking. I actually set up my own street busking group called the Hull Street Scientists. I create content. I produce and manage events. Like many SciCommers, I wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah. I mean,
Much like
I've
your
got one
hat,
on
that
right
is a
now. Yeah,
lovely
yeah,
hat.
yeah. This is one of my many hats. Cool. And you're here to show us a magic trick. I
Yes, I
assume
am. I am
that's
indeed.
what we're doing, right? That's the whole thing that's going on right now. So I hope you're here to show us a
Yes.
magic trick. Yeah. So
Um,
yeah, talk us through it. What have you got?
so the magic trick I'm doing today is a math magic trick. Obviously, because that's what we're here to do. It'd be really weird if I started doing loads of sleight of hand. But it's because I'm more of a magician than I am a mathematician. I've decided to actually go more down a sort of classical magician's route with a deck of cards. Um, you're going to select a card, we're going to lose that card, and then I'm going to try and find that card. And when I say you, I don't just mean you, Katie. I mean you, the wonderful audience, because you can play along with this trick at home. So if you haven't already, go grab a deck of cards, come back and join us, and I will find your card. You viewing at home, I shall find your card as well. That's how confident I am.
All
So,
right.
without further ado, I switch cameras. Is that what we
Yeah.
do now?
Go for it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, once again, the lighting situation's a bit of a problem. So I'm just gonna have to move my mobile phone. Ooh, sort of there. Brilliant. So, welcome to my card trick. I will try because my Wi-Fi is also not great. So I'm going to try and not constantly be waving my hands because it will just pixelate. So as I said, I'm going to do a classic card trick, and this is my setup. I've got my Halloween themed deck of cards, A and B, which we'll get to in a bit. And you might have noticed down here, I've got my prediction, which obviously I'm not going to show you right now, but I'll show you when the time comes. So to start off with, this trick is completely impromptu, which means you're going to get a deck of cards. It can be a borrowed deck of cards, any deck of cards you like. As long as there's 52 cards, so the first thing you're going to want to do is to remove both those jokers. Once you've done that, go ahead and give the cards as much as a shuffle as you like. If you're doing this by yourself, obviously shuffle them yourself. But if you're doing this with someone else, then maybe take it in turns. Um, and as soon as you're comfortable that your cards are completely shuffled, completely random, all the other magician language to say that this deck can possibly exist in any form or whatever, what we're going to do is actually split this deck into two piles of 26 cards. The easiest way to do this, obviously, is just to count the cards down. So 1, 2, 24, 25, 26, 27. Nope, 26, I said. Right. So just to make our life easier, I've gone ahead and labeled this deck A and deck B because we're about to do two different things. With one of these decks, we are going to remove a completely random number of cards. And in the other deck, we are going to select a card and then lose it in the other one. So I've labeled them just so we can keep up. And at this point, it is truly a free and informed decision that you, the spectators, can make. So, Katie, to start with, we are going to remove a random number of cards from one of these piles. Would you like to choose a pile?
I'm going to go for pile A.
Pile A, great choice. So to make this as fair as possible, I'm going to dribble the cards into my hand, onto the table, sorry, and you just say stop whenever you're happy.
Okay.
Here we go.
Stop.
Stop there. Do you want a
Yeah.
few more, a few less?
No, that's fine. Just
That's
there.
fine.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So with these cards, what we're going to do is just put them inside the card box, and we're just going to leave that there. So essentially, we now no longer have 26 cards here. Don't know how many cards we removed. Right, so now it's time to select a card. And we're going to select the card from pile B. And I'm going to again try and do this as fairly as possible. Spread the cards out. I'm going to hover my finger over them. Katie, you say stop whenever you want me to.
Stop.
Here, that card there?
Yeah, there's a very slight delay on the video call, but I'm going to assume that's not you choosing when to stop. That is you stopping as soon as you hear me, right?
Yes. I mean, if you want to, you can name it. You can name a number.
No,
You can say a number.
Yeah, that one's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because of the Wi-Fi and lag and everything, I'm just going to turn this card over so you can see. Trust me, I am not looking. So I'm going to turn this over just like that. Let me know once you've got a good look.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. And turn it back over. Right. So this is our selected card. And what we're going to do is to place our selected card on top of pile A, collect in the rest of the pile from pile B, and stick them on top. So pile A was the pile that we removed some cards from. Pile B is what we selected them down. So that goes down on pile A, and pile B goes on top. So if you're doing this at home, just to kind of give you some time to catch up if you're falling behind a little bit, all we've done is we've selected one pile. In this case, we took pile B. No, we didn't. We took pile A. We removed some cards and we put them into the box. We've then selected a card from pile B, placed it on top of pile A, put the rest of the cards back on top, and this is what we've got now. So the final thing we're going to do is a fancy shuffle. And it's I don't know exactly what the shuffle's called. I call it a top-bottom shuffle. And all it is you're going to take the top and bottom card and take them off and place them into a new pile. So top and bottom card off like that. The way I'm doing it, and there's many ways you can do it, I'm just holding the cards with my middle finger and thumb, and I'm going to use my fingertips to grab the bottom card and my thumb to grab the top. And they should just slide off. But yeah, we're going to do that for the whole deck. So taking the bottom and the top card.
Probably depends how new your deck of cards is as to whether
yes. It's always good to break your cards in a little bit. Whoops. And there we go. If you get to the end, you're left with just one card. That's absolutely fine. Just put it on the top. Right. So seeing as we're doing a complete, more classical magician's trick, let's now do a bit more of a classical magician's roundup. So we have started off with a pile of 52 cards. We have then shuffled those cards, split them up into two piles of 26. In one of those piles, we have removed a wad and placed them in our card box. From the other pile, we have selected a card. That card has then gone onto the pile, onto one of the piles, and then we've made the cuts, put them here, and we've done a top-bottom shuffle. So right now, what we have here and what you should hopefully have at home is a pile of a number of cards. There's no way that I could know how many cards you have in your pile. I don't know how many cards are here, so I don't know how many cards you have at home. So it'd be really difficult right now for me to say that your card is the 9th card, because for some of you, it might be the 9th card, but you know, for others, it won't be, even if it would have been if we didn't remove cards from it. And this is where we come to my prediction down here. And as I said, I'm going to try and find all your cards. So your card is the 3 of clubs.
I mean, it isn't.
Only joking.
Okay.
Though for some of you out there who did choose the 3 of clubs,
yeah,
there's an extra treat for you.
Yeah, there's some people absolutely losing it on the call now. Yeah. Okay.
So the real prediction is in the card box. So as you remember, we removed some cards from one of those piles and we placed them in here. All we have to do to find your card, whether it's Katie's card in this pile or your card wherever you're playing from, all we have to do is to count however many cards we've got here. So in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Katie, your card is going to be the 6th card down. or the sixth card, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do this again as fairly as possible, so there's no dirty dealing. Take one off a time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Katie, what was your card?
It was the Jack of Spades.
And there we have, the Jack of Spades.
Hey. Excellent.
And all of those at home, again, if it doesn't matter what this number is, it could be 6, it could be 12, could be 20. If it is 20, count 20 cards. Your card will be the 20th card. There you go. I found all your cards.
That's really nice. I like that. That is really nice. And I especially like that it's because it's a mathematical thing. Like it'll just work, right? I guess because the thing to say here is, of course, if you're doing a trick like this, sometimes like one card will fall in the wrong place, or something will go wrong, or you'll miscount, or you'll accidentally not take one off the top and one off the bottom. If that has happened to you and you've not managed to find the right card, don't worry. Like it's almost certainly just one thing somewhere in it that's gone wrong. So just go back to the start, do all the steps again, and try it again, because it's a maths trick, right?
So this trick as well is especially quite exciting for me, because there's actually 2 ways to do it, which with self-working card tricks you don't always get. It's one way, and as you say, if you get it wrong, that's it, you're wrong. So in this trick, we took a card from the card we selected from pile A, or sorry, from pile B, we placed on top of pile A, which yes, sorry, I'm getting my alphabets mixed up now. So we took the card from pile B. No, we didn't. We took the card from pile A and put it on top of pile B.
No, we took the card from pile B, I'm afraid. So we took away a chunk of pile A, and then we picked a card from pile B and put it on top. That's what happened.
Right. Yeah. So essentially the card we selected went on top of the pile that we removed cards from.
Yeah.
And amazingly, if we swap that round, so if we removed cards so let me actually just quickly, it's easier to show than it is. So if we had this scenario where we had cards removed from there, and then we selected a card from here, placed it on there, and placed all these cards on top. After we do that shuffle, your card will be however many cards down that we have here. But if we were to do that again, remove cards from there, and then actually select a card from here, put it back on top of this deck, and take this pile and place it on top. So essentially we reverse the trick round. The trick actually still works. The only difference is that it will be +1. So if you had 6 cards, your card would actually be the 7th card.
Okay.
So it still works regardless of whether you follow the instructions exactly or you actually flip those decks around. So it's a little bit of a variation there.
Yeah, I guess if it's +1, then you can say I'm going to get rid of this many cards and it's the next one, or whatever you want to do to kind of present that as a trick. So because I was thinking about you've taken away some of this pile and then you've put your card in between, because the top half is going to be 25 cards because there are 26 and one of them is your card, and then the bit underneath we don't know how many cards that is, and kind of doing this top bottom thing, I almost feel like it's going to end up in the middle somehow. If you're taking one off the top and one off the bottom, you're kind of finding the middle of that pile, right?
Yeah, you're essentially inverting the deck from however many cards you've got.
So if the thing that you're looking for wasn't in the middle, doing that won't find it, but it will put it a certain distance away from the middle, and the distance away from the middle will be the number of cards that you took out. So yeah, I like it.
You explained that better than I ever could.
I like it. That's really nice. And I think some people in the chat were kind of following along with this, and I think quite a few of them did choose the 3 of clubs, so good work on that. That's been quite a fun trick for some people. I mean, we should do that, right? Just there's enough people watching that will work at least some of the time. So a couple of people saying in theory you could count the cards that you've taken off somehow if you could find a sneaky way to do that, and then at the end you could just say I'm going to guess how many cards it is, without even knowing about it. But yeah, I also like the fact that you kind of riffled them to drop some of the cards. It wasn't like you counted a number of cards off. It was just this could be any number of cards, and not even I know how many cards it was. And then that was kind of revealed at the end. It was nice.
I mean, in the past as well, I actually have done it where I've also guessed the exact number of cards that they took off. And I don't want to spoil any previous tricks, but there's certain ways that you can display or stack a deck. And one of those ways allows you to take any number of cards off. And just by looking at one of those cards, know exactly how many cards you've taken off.
I mean, I guess if the cards were just in order, like if it was just, you know, Ace of Hearts up to King of Hearts, Ace of Clubs up to King of Clubs all the way down, then you could know by looking at which card it was, how many cards have come off. But then if you just have them in order so that you know what the order is, I don't know how much work it would be to memorize 52 cards. Because you're saying that memorizing 52 coin flips is a lot less information than memorizing 52 playing cards. But
I mean, it's definitely not something I could do. I'm trying. I've been trying for the last like almost year now to learn a particular stack called the mnemonica stack, which is it's my memory's not that good. I just use stacks where it's just a quick sum that you have to do. I can do quick sums.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see some tricks during the course of the 24 hours that use this kind of idea, and maybe we'll, you know, see some of these principles explained, I guess, in more depth. So I guess one thing I want to ask you, because obviously we've seen you do this magic trick, what else have you been up to lately? I guess what other stuff have you got going on?
So I'm currently in the Great Yorkshire city of Bradford. I'm doing 6 in-person shows as part of the Bradford Science Festival. It's the first time I've done an in-person show since like the start of February. So it's been very, very exciting today. The show's called the Virtually Live Science Showdown. It includes another incredible SciCommer by the name of Gemma Newman. So we've worked together on this to produce both pre-recorded content from her and live demo content from me. And yeah, we're doing the show. We did it 3 times today. I'm doing it 3 times tomorrow. At the moment, I'm absolutely knackered. It's been so long since I've had to stand.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's surprisingly tiring, isn't it? Because you're kind of on, you know, you're presenting and you don't realize how tiring it is until you stop, and then you suddenly just go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially after months of being sat at a desk at a computer. Even when I'm doing events, I'm sat down now. So it's a very...
I mean, talk to me this time tomorrow. We'll see. I mean, I'm not presenting for the full 24 hours, but I'm on a few times during... I've got a little bit tomorrow morning quite early. And I'm going to come on and do a trick for someone else as well during the day. So I'll be... By the end of tomorrow, I'll be fairly wiped out. But yeah, I mean, it's also... But I'm in my house. You know, it's not the same as going to a place and doing a thing. And I imagine that's kind of all quite sort of spread out and distanced, and you know, you're kind of on a stage away from everyone and things like that.
So it's quite nice actually. It's not a stage, it's ground level, but obviously we've still got the social distance. No volunteers unfortunately, but I have a fair few tricks which again are kind of maths and science and magic tricks, which I can get the audience to. There's stuff there. I think they're often referred to as body tricks, where you know you've probably seen. Have you heard of the Houdini hand illusion? I think that's quite a popular one. People know.
Oh, is it? No, I can't. Yeah, I don't know exactly which one it is. Do you want to tell us?
Yeah, I'll try and show. So this is kind of my halftime act. So we've got 4 demos, 2 from me, 2 from Gemma. So halfway through, just to make sure the audience is still with me, I say, right, you're just going to follow my instructions. So you're going to stick your hands out, and you can do this along with me. You turn your hands the other way around, so to flip them over, and you can take one hand and you're going to place it essentially underneath and like wiggle your fingers together. So if you do that like that.
Okay, like that, yeah.
My lighting is so bad, right? So, and then all you're going to do is stick out your pointy fingers.
Yeah.
Tap them 3 times.
Yeah.
And if you followed every instruction correctly, you should now be able to do this.
I mean, that's excellent. I've definitely seen this before, and every single time I forget how it works. Like, it's such a wonderful thing. And because the thing about this is, like, my mathematical background is in a branch of maths called topology, which is to do with kind of shapes and how things connect together. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, I should be able to do that. Like, It's just that my joints don't work the right way. As a topologist, it's quite frustrating to see something that should be able to untwist that can't. There's something going on there, isn't there? There's something sneaky going on in this.
There's a little bit of a sneaky trick. Have you ever seen it with bottle caps? The bottle cap one is a little bit because the Houdini hand illusion there is a slight, but with this it's more of a method. So I changed to my other camera. How much time have we got left?
Plenty.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Plenty. Oh, great. Grand, because I have loads of tricks. That's literally what I do. I all my friends, my girlfriend, family members, they sometimes hate it when I visit because I have so many card tricks. In fact, right here, I've got so many decks of cards. I'm staying in a hotel, and I still somehow have all these cards. So this is the same sort of thing, but with bottle caps. And this is one of my favorite things to do as a sort of a bar bet. So I'll bet them that they can't do this, and they'll be like, yeah, it's easy, and then no one seems to be able to. And it's a very simple thing. It's recycling as well, because all you need is 2 bottle caps. Don't know how well you can see those.
Yeah.
And all you're going to do is place the bottle caps in between your thumb and index finger. I think that's the index finger. And all the challenge is simple. All you got to do is get the blue bottle cap and the orange bottle cap to switch places and end up on your fingertips like this. So you put your hands together, you pull them apart. So they're now in your fingertips between your index and your thumb, and they've swapped places. So orange is on this side, and again, all you're going to do is put your hands together. It's really difficult to show on camera, and pull them apart. In fact, let's see if I switch back to my main camera. I'll see if it's easier to actually do it stood up here. So again,
we've got some spooky Halloween lighting going on. I like it.
Ooh. So bottle caps in between your thumb and index finger in the gap there. And all you're going to do is put your hands together and pull them apart. So they end up in your fingertips. They have to end up in your fingertips and swap sides. And that is a trick.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at that because I haven't got any to try it myself. There might be people at home who can go and grab something out of the recycling and have a go at this themselves. Or just, 2 bottles out of the fridge, just start 2 drinks at once. But I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, if you're kind of grabbing 2 things that are in like the opposite parts of your hands, how do you, because, topologically that's 2 linked circles, right? So they shouldn't be able to unlink. Yeah.
So what many people end up doing is they end up in this position where they go, oh yeah, it's easy, it's this. And then as you say, you end up linked together. So, and then you literally, you go up to them, you say, no, you're doing it wrong. Look, I'll do it in slow motion. Look, you hold them there, you put your hands together and pull them apart. And
right.
They'll never get it.
Yeah, I think I might have, there's something going on there. Yeah, it's definitely, there is a way to do this. I think we can leave that one with people, I guess, because they might be able to continue frustrating themselves for a little while. And then was it called the Houdini hand trick?
The Houdini hand illusion.
Right. So you can look up how that one works and find it online somewhere and find an explanation of it, I guess, if people want to do that.
They are brilliant tricks. They're these kind of things that, and I guess this comes with just, because I often say that there's a lot of things that science communicators and magicians have in common. The only main difference is that magicians don't tell you how it works. And actually, through doing magic, I feel like I've become a better science communicator, and being able to use things which people can easily find, can do themselves in their own body, and bottle caps, which I have bags of these. I take these to gigs. I hand them out to people, not currently, obviously, because I wouldn't want them back.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lovely little trick. It's a great little bar bet.
Yeah, it's nice. There's a couple of comments in the chat. There's someone's described the Houdini hand illusion as the international math salute, which I think is what some people call this. I like that because I have seen other mathematicians doing that, because it's sort of there's like a symmetry thing to it, and there's there's definitely a mathematical aspect to that. We've also heard that you can do the bottle tops thing using 2 AA batteries, which is a nice sort of alternative, or with a pair of corks. I think I've seen people do that with a pair of corks as well.
I've seen coins. I've seen
coins,
actual like beer bottle caps. Anything that you can more or less hold between the gap here and also between your fingertips.
Yeah, fantastic. I like that. I like that we've got a couple of extra bonus tricks out of you there as well, on top of your main magic trick, which is fantastic.